Hey everyone, welcome back to TBM Sports. Let's get it. Let's talk some college football. And thank God it is Friday, but thank God college football is back. And we do have a lot of action this weekend Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Enjoy the Labor Day weekend. You guys work hard for it. And yeah, let's get it going. Let's talk some college football. And for those of you that are new to the channel, yesterday was an awesome day. We're on that quest for 10,000 subscribers. Hit that like button. Please subscribe down below and join us. These are completely free picks, okay? So I know who you guys are. You guys are at the kiosk. You're just surfing through YouTube. You're looking for the best cappers out there. You're not going to get the pom-poms, the Lamborghinis, and all that bullshit on my channel, okay? We're going to be straight to the point, and there will be a lot of humble pie because this is a wicked game that we play, okay? Quite frankly, you can get burnt really bad. So guys, make sure you're being safe out there. All right. I just listened to somebody at the bar last night, eating some food, watching some sports. And basically this guy was looking down the barrel of the weekend and already down a ton, just on one day alone, the first day of college football. So, almost wanted to slip in my card, but I'm not that kind of person. So do empathize for those people. If you need help, get help and be responsible. Okay. So here's where we're at. We had an awesome day yesterday on the books, 5-1 between the MLB and college football. That is not me boasting. I know how fast things can turn. I'm not perfect. We're going to have cold streaks. We're going to go on a little bit of turns. But for those of you that have been betting baseball with me and college basketball and the likes of even the NFL college football season last year's, it is something where you just have to grind it out the whole year. Okay, we will come out on the other side. I promise you that. But this is where we're going to be, and I will recap the picks every single day for transparency. And these are completely free picks. All right, so let's get into it. We will use Outlier to do this, but like I said, guys, 3-0 clean sweep on the college football action. We had the under Cincy, Nebraska, and South Florida first half plus 3.5, and the Louisiana Monroe as they came back. Minus 24.5, and that was the better side of the number. Little betting tip here: do not chase the number. Okay, when I made my picks in the morning, by the time I made my picks to I put a video out yesterday, that number had moved from 24 to 26 in the hooks. Okay, so and then by the time that I double checked it a little bit later and just see where we're at, as I do check for line movements, it was over 31. So it is what it is, but that's kind of where we're going to make the best bet possible. And to do so, please be checking out the link down below to use Outlier. It will put you in a good position. It will not win you bets, but it will allow you to make the best bet possible. Okay. And if you don't believe me, just check it out for yourself. There is a 7-day free trial. Links are in the description. Okay. So we are going to look into the first couple games here. And guys, this will be a shorter video. And the reason being, and outside of my opening monologue, is the fact that there's only one bet that I have. Okay. Like I said, we don't put out, we're not going to be flashing $100,000 around driving Lamborghinis and saying these are how you bet 6-0 tonight. We're going for the cleans. Like, you're not going to find that here. Okay, I'm a actual sports bettor. I'm not an influencer. This YouTube thing is just a fun way to kind of kill some time. So we're going to talk about the picks, and as we look into the first game, this is the App State Charlotte. No play for me. This is where you kind of can make an argument for Charlotte had an exit of some very integral pieces to that organization. One thing that does stick out to me is App State is not at home. App State has been that team kind of like in the home openers. They have played spoiler to a lot of teams, but as they go to play Charlotte, it's just a little bit of a different gear here. And App State, kind of one of their worst seasons by their standards that they've had. I do kind of lend towards the Charlotte side at home, getting the 4.5. But like I said a little earlier, this is where I don't really bet against. I don't like to bet against Appalachian State too often, so that's kind of where I stack up in that game. No play for me, but like I said, guys, we'll one play. We'll run this through and get through to the leans and what we have going on. Okay, Wake Forest and Kennesaw State. This is one where I know it's a bad number, 17.5 for the Demon Deacons. They're minus 110. If we get to a flat 17 at even juice, I would consider. But this is where we look at Wake Forest, fresh upon a 4-8 season, 2-6 in conference. Kind of makes you wonder what's going on. This is just basically kind of the roster standpoint. Okay, Kennesaw State's absolutely atrocious. Wake Forest has some NFL talent. Okay, it's kind of an apples to oranges matchup here. Wake Forest is at home. I just don't know if 17 is too much. Okay, that's a 17 and a half is a horrible number. You basically have to win by 20 to cash that ticket. So if you were going to get involved in this game, I do lean towards the Wake Forest side. I just don't want to bet it at a 17 and a half. Okay, Western Michigan and Michigan State. Now this is an interesting game and one that I will be watching. Michigan State is one of those teams that is my question mark team for 2025. Okay, they're in that conversation. I want to know who they are. And as we look at Michigan State, a horrible team to cover, and they roll out Aiden Childs back for another year, and very dynamic quarterback, a little bit gunslingy, if you will, and makes a couple mistakes outside the pocket. But he does have that big play potential. He can get it done with his legs. Western Michigan, very interesting school in the fact that they are kind of turning over some rosters. Okay, I believe I heard or read. I'm a MAC guy first and foremost, as a alumni standpoint, but a Western Michigan Broncos team, they bring in 33 new players from the transfer portal. Okay, very interesting statistic there, a huge number, and one that does give me some pause. What actually is going to happen in this game? Michigan State, sure, Big Ten, the class name, but as you saw yesterday, and you kind of vibed with my leans yesterday, the MAC getting some points in these lower totals in the 40s. Granted, this one's almost at 50. Really did pay off some dividends last night. I think that was one of the trends that, if you did listen to me yesterday and you shot the trend with the MAC schools and the unders, you probably did some good bets and cashed some tickets. Okay, but just full disclosure, there was only one game that I ended up taking, and that was Buffalo and the Minnesota going under. That was the only game that I bet outside of the ones that I talked about on the channel, full disclosure. Okay, but that's kind of where we're at. Western Michigan, this is a shit ton of points. Plus 21 is kind of where I see the Broncos. You know, as much as I'd love to say, oh, Western or Michigan State's going to kick the shit out of little brother, you know, it's not necessarily the case. I just don't trust Michigan State. It's a wait and see game for me, more so than anything. And I could give you guys numbers, statistics, whatever, but guys, it's week one. The statistics from last season, for the most part, these are completely different teams and coaching staffs. Even if they remain the same, it's still different schemes, different coordinators, and it does really make a huge difference, as what we saw with Nebraska last night. Oh, we're bringing in Dana Holmgrenson, and we're going to be air raid. We're going to throw 60-plus points in this game. Nonsense. Nothing's been proven. It's week one, and that's a firm bet on the under. Okay, that's what we made yesterday. Anyways, but we will look at this Western Michigan and Michigan State game from a perspective where a couple ways you can look at it. I think the first half is available. If you do want to go into the conversation that Western Michigan kind of sneaks one through, you could look at Western Michigan plus the points in first half, and also the 21 if you do want to buy up to that half point. But this is something where I just think that if Western Michigan brings in any kind of, you know, basically power 4, Power 5 transfer talent into this roster, they do have a very big issue, I think, traveling on the road. Michigan State is a very serviceable away, I guess you would say home field advantage for away teams, and that's kind of where you look into the just the one thing I will say from the Michigan State perspective is I don't think that they're not going to get theirs on defense. Okay, I look for Michigan State to play really good on defense. I think they're going to be able to get to the quarterback. It's just a lot of question marks on what Western Michigan's going to be able to do. Okay, and I hate to tell you guys, oh, I love Western Michigan plus 21 because I think there is a very strong propensity. Like this game could be like a 35-13, something along those lines, or even, you know, into the 35-17. It just has a weird kind of number to it, and unless you want to bet the 21, I would take Western Michigan plus the 21, but that's just kind of where I'm at. It's not an official play. Okay, Auburn and Baylor, very interesting here as we talk about arguably the number one game on the slate, and this is where the bet that would be on my card if it wasn't, like I said, if it wasn't just a thing where I actually care about, you know, if I promised you guys 3 picks, okay, Baylor would be one of those picks. Baylor plus 110, and you know me, I still might find a way to find some action on it. We'll see kind of how the We're doing a little bit later, but the Baylor Bears, that's kind of where I'd be at from a money line perspective. This number will probably close at a pick 'em, I think, as we get closer. And personally, I'm shocked that it hasn't already. 63% of the handles on Baylor. We see 37% of the bets on Auburn. I like Baylor a lot. I actually was very profitable with them in the second half of the season. They stung me in one game, but I did ride Baylor pretty hard, and that's kind of where it's a little different. I think that when we talk about the fact that they return Sawyer Robertson, they return I think a dozen plus players on both sides of the ball. Sometimes those week one games where you know what you're getting. Yes, Auburn plays in the SEC. Yes, they went 5-7 yesterday. Last year. Yes, they made a lot of changes. Does that equate to points? I want to see it. I know that they are kind of. I think this actually might be a neutral venue. Let me just double check that. McLean Stadium, and I think that is not a neutral stadium. So if they are playing in Baylor, that's kind of where. What's kind of awesome to see the mini Mahomes. Yeah, they are playing in Waco. So for me, guys, I don't quite frankly see it. It's going to be a little bit nippy down there. This is an 8 o'clock game. I don't see it for Auburn, and I like Baylor on the money line. That's just kind of how I stack up. The one other thing I will tell you guys about this game is that Jackson Arnold will be at the helm for the Tigers. Now, he very very highly ranked recruit. I think he was a transfer. My memory serves me correct. I'm kind of a recruiting junkie as well for coming from Oklahoma. But this is kind of where you don't know what you're getting. And if Baylor plays a lick of defense and they're able to move the football, it's going to be a great game to watch. But I think it'll be exciting, and we might get close to 70 points in this game. It could be one that goes over the total if Auburn can play some offense. So for me, guys, it's Baylor money line or pass. That's just how I'm approaching it. We don't tease in college football. I know it's very juicy to look at this from a pro perspective, and you want to take those 6 points and couple that with somebody and get the Baylor Bears plus 7.5. I know. I feel it. It sticks out off the page of me, but we're not going to do that. Okay. Georgia Tech and Colorado. That will be my only official play of the day that I will give out as I want to get through some of these leans though first. Okay. The next one that I want to talk about, San Jose. I do like San Jose State going against Central Michigan. A minus 13.5, it would be kind of where I'd be at for that game. UNLV and Sam Houston. This is a game where I think we're going to get a lot of points. Okay, 61 is that number. 61 at a juiced up price is where I would be at if you want to get involved. We saw an interesting one last week. Okay, UNLV, they got the absolute eye-opening test that you would never want to have as a college football team. Idaho State, we lost that bet. We tipped the cap. We move on. But they look like absolute hell. And Idaho State, no run defense whatsoever. And I just was very shocked about what happened. And I believe after I actually kind of did a deep dive into it because I wanted to know what the hell went on. And it ended up being some kind of shuffling within the secondary. And I'm not saying I'm not doing excuses and who's who. But I'm just saying that on an opening week, young players, sometimes, it does matter if you lose your middle linebacker, you lose your quarterback. I mean, it does matter it will affect the whole team, not just, oh, my safety's out. Oh, my middle linebacker's out. It goes a little bit deeper than that a lot of times. So, one injury could make a huge difference as we look at each and every game. But the way they played, guys, it wasn't just the defense. It was the offense. And I look for a bounce back spot here. Okay. I do like the Running Rebels, minus 9.5. Sam Houston, as we look at them, they were a 10-win team last year. And statistically, it's really hard to bet against Sam Houston State in this spot based on how UNLV played last week. So if you want to call it the eye test, yeah, take Sam Houston State. It's a number where they're begging you to take the UNLV. They're under the key number, which is kind of a 10. And for me, guys, I think UNLV bounces back. That's a lean if you do want to get involved. But I do think that more so in this game, if UNLV plays that kind of defense against Sam Houston State, we are going to get an absolute surplus of points in this game. All right, I'm calling for a 60-plus game. The only thing that does give me pause is it is early in the season. Now, the one thing else about this is both of these teams have one game under their belt, okay? For me, guys, I think this number may get up to 62, 63. So if you do want to get it around a 61, that's kind of where you have to jump on that sooner than later. But here we are, guys, the bet of the day. And this is my best bet. This is one that I've been staring down the barrel at since halfway through the summer. I was looking for a way to fade the Deion Sanders, you know, the Travis Hunter, the Shador Sanders, the Shiloh Sanders, and whoever else you want to made an appearance in that locker room, giving a halftime speech or a pep talk during training camp. Love Deion Sanders. I would gladly suit up again for him any second of the day. Okay, as a Cleveland Browns fan, rooting for the kid. I never want to see a kid, especially a college athlete, do poorly or fall by the wayside. I want everybody to succeed. That's kind of where I'm at, and I'm not rooting against Colorado to have a bad year. I just think that Georgia Tech can get it done, and they're a very tough team to kind of play against. Okay, Haynes King is very dynamic, and if you saw what Georgia Tech did to Florida State last year in that opener, this could be one to watch out for. Okay, and I might be on an island for this one, but Georgia Tech -4 is my best bet. You got to shop around for it, but you can find those fours out there in the market. So give me the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. We're going to fire them up behind the likes of Haynes King. Love that kid too. A very great dynamic two-way player. But give me Georgia Tech. That is the bet of the day to go along a lot of those leans that we did talk about. And yeah, so we're going to root for the Yellow Jackets here and wish the best for Deion Sanders and company. But I just think that, prayers out for him with his surgery concerns, his health issues that he did have. He's ongoing treatment, all that stuff. Yeah, that's a sad story to talk about, and just it just kind of resonates for coach and stuff like that. But yeah, I just want to see Georgia Tech win the game, but rooting for Deion and company. And just from a focus standpoint, I don't know how much is going to be there. Okay, and I know Colorado has all these high-profile assistants and all this stuff. But they do bring back a lot. I just personally think Georgia Tech's a lot better than people give them credit for being. So even if this wasn't the Colorado Buffaloes, very similar team, I like to fade the narrative, but I do think also if Colorado can play some we will get an over in this game as well. That's just how I look at it. But Georgia Tech, they're going to be running the clock. It's going to be very, very fast-paced game in terms of just we're going to get a lot of turnover with possessions, right? Georgia Tech likes to take the air out of the football, and Colorado, they're kind of just, who knows what we're going to get here in the year after Shador's exit. And the days that we did see some of those players not play, there wasn't really too much from a backup perspective. So that's partially my handicap as well. Okay, so that's it, guys. Pretty much a huge rundown. Sorry for the coffee kicking in and kind of rambled a little bit, but that's all right. We'll live with it. And good luck today. That is my best bet. Georgia Tech, we're going to lay 4 points and see what happens. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. Good luck on your picks. We will have a video out very shortly as we talk about the Saturday action, a huge slate. Hook 'em horns going against the Bucks, and we'll see what happens in that noon kick. But thank you guys once again. Make sure you all subscribe and turn on that notification bell. Also follow me on X, all that good stuff, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.